YouTube, what's going on? My name is Corporate Surf, and in today's video, it's going to be like a university presentation or just like a boring PowerPoint. But if you stick with this and you listen all the way through, this is going to be the key to improving your mouse control specific to your tracking. Like you will see explosive growth if you trust me on this. I'm going to draw an analogy at the start. It is not necessary to what we're talking about in the training. I'm going to leave a timestamp. You can skip right to the method if that's all you care about. Those of you who are curious to see what I'm talking about here with a comparison here of weight training to aim training, I'm going to try my best to draw this out and then we'll jump into the method. So in the context of weight training, the idea of hypertrophy is overload through repetition. In general, like this is an oversimplification, but it works to build muscle. I want to give a small caveat here. I am no expert in weight training. This is just my rudimentary understanding of how these things work. So if some details aren't, fully to depth, then I apologize, but we're going to try and keep this as simple as we can. So we just talked about hypertrophy. Let's talk about strength training then. That's kind of like the other side, strength training with weight. This case is more low rep, high intensity, and in my context, the way that I simplify this is it's just the existing muscle that you have is made stronger. So hypertrophy is like repetition. So, very high rep, maybe similar sets, but we're working to try to build muscle. But here it's low rep, high intensity. So I think this is relatively well established, but I just want to put this out here that hypertrophy and strength training are symbiotic. The more muscle you develop, the more can be made stronger. And then the stronger you are, the greater you can push your intensity. Okay, here's where we're going to try to apply that, relatively simple concept with weight training to aim training. So I have an analogy that fluidity and smoothness are our hypertrophy in this example. So this whole slide is hypertrophy. When we create variants on an aim trainer specific to improving our smoothness, in a sense, we're building the space or building that muscle for later precision. So when we have these aim trainer variants of an assignment that are made to be larger, slower, or less reactive, you're getting that smoothness. These variants build the muscle of higher accuracy and are better speed matching. Okay, here's our analogy for the strength training side of things. We're going to equate this to precision. So with our precision variant training, this refines your corrections. You are strengthening the muscle of your aim by making your aim sharper. With these smaller, faster, more reactive variants, these call for more adjustments in lower accuracy situations. Because the bot is so small, fast, elusive, your crosshair is naturally off of the bot more, and you have to work extra to get your crosshair back on target. So in this analogy, we're making our aim sharper, we're making our aim stronger, we're making that muscle stronger. So let's put this together, right? Just as with our weight training example, how the hypertrophy and strength are this symbiotic relationship, so are precision and fluidity. The better that you are at speed matching, the more you notice your corrections. Right, if I'm higher accuracy and I am off of the target, I'm more conscious because there are less times where this happens. The better you are with your corrections, the easier it is for you to continue speed matching. When the quality of your corrections improve, you are left to continue being on target. Okay, for those of you that just wanted to skip to the method, here's where we're starting with this. We're talking about tracking training relative to your mouse control. I'm calling this mouse control training because there's lots of extra things to tracking that are very important, right? You have strafe aim, just to name one. So this is one piece of the puzzle. I can't make you great at Apex Legends by talking about this mouse control, but we can improve this area of our skill. Okay, let's say for this example that we are talking about snake track from Voltaic. This is the scenario that I played for a year. This is the scenario that I love. This is what is spawned a lot of my ideas on tracking training. Let's say that your best score is 3,600, which comes out to most times 60% accuracy. So 60% accuracy here is what we're most concerned with. Let's say as well that you were able to hit this score on 52 CM360. This 52 is what some like the best scores on the advanced leaderboard come from. 52 is like one of the best sensitivities to play snake track. So you hit your absolute best score of 60% accuracy on 52. In order to progressively overload, introduce the appropriate level of challenge to increase our skill level, we're going to work on two variables that we've talked a lot about before and today here in this intro. The first one, of course, is precision. So with our precision here, we are going to have a set of 4 variables that are most relevant to improving our precision on the main task. The first variable for our precision is size. When it is smaller, there is less mass, so there is more that you have to correct for. After that, we have timescale. So if you're not familiar with how timescale works in aim trainers, timescale affects the way everything plays out for the scenario. So if you increase the timescale, you're making the bot faster, but you're also changing like the acceleration. In a sense, the gravity is stronger. All of the factors that make up the assignment are amplified or multiplied. Okay, stay with me on this one, but we're going to talk about sensitivity. I think this is quite overlooked. When we play on a faster sensitivity, we are increasing the challenge here. Our mouse covers more distance with less movement. So your adjustments have to be refined further to make the appropriate correction. When you play on a faster sense, you have to be more precise. The final here is absolutely the most overlooked, but I think it's very important to all of our tracking here. That is FOV. So when you play at a closer FOV, everything feels faster. Even though, your CM360 can be the exact same, you still cover the same distance with the rotation of your mouse. The actual process of aiming feels faster, but as well, you notice your mistakes more. This is something that VT Loris and VT Maddie talk about, especially like in relation to precise tracking, but I believe this is applicable with all of our tracking. So FOV, when it is a closer perspective, you notice those mistakes more, it feels faster, you have to be a bit more precise. Okay, we see and understand our variables here, but how far should we take them? What direction are we pushing things? Well, our main task here, we have 60% accuracy. So in order to be more precise, work more on our corrections, it's going to be important that our final score for our variants for precision are lower than 60% accuracy. And I believe this is valuable up to 20%. So for this very specific example of 60% accuracy, if we're trying to have a final result that is going to help our precision, these variants will lead us to 40% accuracy and 50% accuracy. There's one variant for each of these with size, one variant for each of these with timescale. So that's 4 different variants for our final result here. So when we talk about changing sensitivity and pushing our score based on what that sensitivity choice is, this is actually a topic that's been around for a long time. For the sake of this example, we're going to try to keep it as simple as possible, and we're just going to make an adjustment by 10 CM360. Okay, so the last variable here, of course, is our FOV. So what do we do with the FOV? How much do we change it? In my opinion, you can get a lot of value with a small change. Like if we talk about the Loris method for precise, that went from 103 Overwatch down to 90. So I think something like 15 to 20 in either direction is really appropriate. So where Loris recommended 90 FOV, I say we take it just a little step further and go to 85 FOV for this precision variant. Okay, so our smoothness here is the inverse of this precision. So we're going to go through these a little bit more quickly, but with our size variance, it's going to be bigger. Timescale, going to be slower. Sensitivity I want to talk about. With a slower sensitivity, you have to move your mouse more to cover the same distance. So you have to exert more force to complete the same process. It adds strain to keep the pace with our target. So playing on these slower sensitivities helps us match the speed because we feel the process of struggling to keep up with the bot. And then finally here, this is something that I don't think a lot of people do in their training, But with your FOV being farther away, everything here feels more smooth. The process of your tracking is still happening. You just see a little bit less, or you notice a little bit less. So when we practice with this farther FOV, you are practicing your smoothness. Okay, so what values should we target then when we're talking about smoothness? What are the changes that we're going for? So with size and timescale, I want you to use variants, one of each for each of these, where we're targeting a final accuracy 20% above where our baseline score is. So with our smoothness variants of size and timescale, we're going to be seeking a final accuracy of 70 and 80%. So with our sensitivity being slower, just for the sake of consistency, we're going to make this a 10 cm360 change as well, which is going to be 62 cm360. Finally here at the very bottom, our FOV change, we said somewhere in the range of 15 to 20, so 120 FOV fits that quite well. So here we have it. This is our program for SnakeTrack, building mouse control for our tracking. Let's count out the variables really quick here. So we have 2 for size, 2 for timescale, that's 4. Then we have 1, 2, we have 6 precision variants. Then we have the same 4 here, 5, 6. We have 12 total variants when we're working on our SnakeTrack. So here's what I'm going to do from here. With SnakeTrack Intermediate, I'm going to make 12 of these variants for you. Your accuracy values will be different. I'm going to build these based on the accuracies that I need for improvement, but this will be analogous to wherever you are in your path on SnakeTrack. So if for me the values that I'm shooting for are like 95% and 85%, maybe for you that's going to be 65% and 55%. That's perfectly okay. You can continue to push this all the way up to my skill level. What I've done with SnakeTrack Intermediate is really not special. I just factored for these values and trained a whole year. So I truly believe anybody can do what I've done on SnakeTrack, even though it's my best category. When you train with good intention, you know what you're training, the possibilities are endless. So I want to encourage you guys to really push your scores here. I'm going to make 12 of these variants for you. If you know how to edit on kovaaks and make tweaks, you could build these for your own improvement. I'll go ahead very quickly at the end of this video, show you how you can change the size and timescale to work on these precision and smoothness variants. Okay, so here we are in kovaaks. We're working with SnakeTrack Intermediate. We want to make sure that we have this downloaded. So online, SnakeTrack Intermediate, have it downloaded. So now we go to local, we search the same scenario, and it pops up here. When we go to make our edit here, we click the pencil. It's going to ask you about unpacking. Hit yes every time. Then at the top we have some profiles. We can go to character and hit the snake, which is the bot that we're modifying. So when we're modifying for size, we go to proportions here, and we're going to make the modification for both the height and the radius. For the sake of simplicity, we'll make it 100% bigger, so that would be 250 and 44. So this is where we modify the size. Of course, you can go in the other direction and make it for precision. So, if we did 100 and 18, this is a smaller version of the task that's going to help your precision. So that's how we just create. The first one we created was a smoothness variant. This second one that we're looking at right here is a precision variant. So now that we're back here at the main menu, we have a profile manager at the top. When we look on the side at challenge, we can see what I was talking about with timescale. Now here, of course, there's timescale and free play. You can just modify the free play manager, but if you actually want to record your stats in challenge mode, then we can modify the timescale. And so when we make it faster, like 1.2, everything here in the profile of the bot becomes multiplied by that 1.2. So our run speed is 20% faster, but so is the acceleration. Usually with a lot of these, there's like friction values, but like the bounce scenarios have gravity too. Everything is changed by that. So looking at our timescale, of course, making this faster is going to be a precision variant. 1.2 would be a precision variant because we need to make extra correction. The bot is faster. With our timescale variants, if we did 0.8, that would be our smoothness variant. All right, everything is slower. It's easier to speed match, right? So timescale 0.8, that's our smoothness variant. Whenever you're done modifying what you were working on, you press Save As, and then what I usually do is I just make the name as simple as I can. Snake Track INT, and then this was 80%. Now, in aim trainers, TS stands for target switch. So for my variants with timescale, I either just keep it at 80% like that, or I put time SC, timescale. So once we've saved this, the name is a little bit different, so we'll go, but we search the appropriate name here, and when you start this, when you press play, it's just going to be in free play, right? There's no timer or anything like that. So if you go to challenge, this will be playing the regular 60-second version. So it will record your score, it'll record your highest accuracy. Now, a tip for this, because I don't want you to just upload your variants to the workshop. What you can do, because when you hover over this, it shows your best score. It'll show you like your best accuracy. One thing that I recommend that you do is also keep track of your sensitivity. So like right here, we had 52 cm for what we were working on. So here, this will pop up with 52 cm, what you played this on, your accuracy, and your high score. So now if we have 42 cm, 52 cm here, so this is like the precision variant for this one, we can track the difference in our overall accuracy between these two without having to upload this to the online scenarios. So again, I'm asking you guys not to upload these to the online workshop. You can do everything you need to in local by just pressing challenge here, or you can make an offline playlist. So you hit plus, and then you can see all the offline playlists that I have. Create new playlist. Offline Snake Track INT. We press save here, and we can add everything that we have downloaded. You can add anything from the workshop into this playlist. You just have to make sure that it's downloaded. So if we go here to online scenarios and we do Snake Track INT, and we'll find something that I don't have downloaded. Download this. Go here, Snake Track INT Precision, and so now I can just seamlessly drop this into the playlist. Okay, that is everything. These are the tools for your mouse control success when we're talking about tracking. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. This is basically everything that I've discovered through a year of playing one scenario. Snake Track was my sole focus throughout this entire year, and I feel like in terms of my tension, my understanding of the nuances of tracking, but also how to work kovaaks, there's so much that I learned from committing to one task, and so I want to encourage you guys to find something that you enjoy, push that task, and see what you can learn from it. It doesn't have to be aim trainers, it can be anything. See what you can learn from working on something that you enjoy, really committing to improving that aspect. So that is it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you all in the next video. Peace.